Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, good evening. The Honorable Mem Yosyan Dayani, our lecturer of English first, my beloved classmates and fellow audiences. Today, the topic that I am calling to discuss is about grab and charge. Before I jump into the topic, let me introduce myself first. My name is Silvia Ananda. My student ID 3111911018. I'm from Business Management major in Accounting Study Program. For this presentation, I will act as an accounting staff that will be presenting about a report in last 3 years about my working result as an accounting staff, and the topic is about annual sales of sports station in 2018 until 2020, and the sales and the second topic is about the sales of sports item in 2021. But before I start the presentation, I have divided my presentation into three main parts, whereas the first one is I am going to introduce each of the table, and then I am going to describe the graph and charge, and lastly, I am going to conclude or make a conclusion from the presentation that I present before. So without wasting any time, let's move on to the graph and charge. As you guys can see, this table shows the annual sales of sports station from the year 2018 until 2020, and what sales comparison are popular and effective way to evaluate and the financial performance of a company. This table can be created through bar chart based on the data given by month and year. Now let's move on to the graph and chart number one. To start off, this multiple bar chart is depicting the relationship between the annual sales of sports station from the year 2018 until 2020. For the legend, the blue color represents 2018, yet the orange color represents 2019, and lastly, the gray color represents 2020. And in the x-axis shows the month, while the sales in rupiah appears to be on the y-axis. This leads to my next point. For 2018, the sales remain static at 2 million rupiah from early January until end of the year. This may be because there is less exposure to inspire customers to buy sports equipment and merchandise at that time, or the company maintained the same promotional method or sales method throughout the year, and then the company may not take other initiative to increase their monthly sales, and perhaps this is one of the reasons why the sales are the same throughout the year. Meanwhile, for the year 2019, there is an undulated sales pattern throughout the whole year. In 2019, sales began at 4 million rupiah in January, then fractionally higher in February at 5 million rupiah. However, the sales dropped in March, and this fluctuating pattern continues throughout the year. For January sales in 2019 shows the highest sales compared to the previous and subsequent years, which are 2018 and 2020. This pattern continues from February until May. Nevertheless, there is a rapidly change pattern, whereas the highest sales were in the year 2020. This progression movement continues for July and then remains stable at 8 million rupiah until the end of the year. For the only 5 months of 2019, the sales are above than 2018 and 2020 because there is an upcoming event such as a FIFA World Cup, and then that will be held in June and July of 2019. The collapse sales for 2019 start in June because the fans already bought the merchandise and equipment early to prepare for the event. Next, the sales in 2020 are inconstant as in the year 2019 because the first time in 2020 the economy flowed due to inflation all over the world. Okay, that's all the explanation about the first report. Now let's move to the second report. This table shows the sales of sports station in 2021 by quarter. By this table, we can use the line graph to describe about the trend. It is because line graph can show more than one line for data. Therefore, it is easy to compare the trend when representing them on the same graph. Now let us look to the second line graph. This line graph provides information about the sales of sports station in 2021. It presents 4 quarters throughout the year. The x-axis in this graph shows the quarter in 2021, while the number of sales or the total of sales in rupiah appear on the y-axis. Now let's look at the legend. The first one is the blue line representing about sports shoes, and then the orange line representing about rackets, and then the gray lines representing about sports clothing, and the last one is the yellow line representing about protective equipment. For the blue line, they say rotating from the first quarter until third quarter. Nike has released new shoes and a minimum total 1,500 pairs on the retail store. Unfortunately, in the third and fourth quarter, they sell level off and remain constant because of the shoes that have been sold out everywhere. Next, on the orange line, the first and second quarter level of which is 3 million rupiah. Nevertheless, the sales increased steadily in the second quarter for 3 million rupiah until the fourth quarter, which is 7 million rupiah, rates to certificate BWF World Championship event exposure. Meanwhile, for first quarter and second quarter of gray line, sports clothing sales drop off from 2 million rupiah to 1 million rupiah. Because of that, the sports clothing brand commercial and advertising campaign. So that is why in the second and third quarter, the sales increase slowly and gradually from 1 million rupiah to 2 million rupiah. However, in the third and fourth quarter, the set remained constant because there is no advertising campaign held for this time. Then, for the last sport item, which are in the yellow line, the sales for protective equipment are the lowest among all the sport items. Why? Because that wide to lack of awareness about safety when playing sports. But overall, the trend movement of yellow line level of which is 500,000 rupiah for first and second quarter. Then a worldwide sport safety campaign is made to raise awareness of the disadvantages of not wearing sports equipment. That is why the sales increased slightly at the second and third quarter from 500,000 rupiah to 1 million rupiah and remain stable at 1 million rupiah. This brings us to the end of my presentation. So to summarize the multiple bar charts that we have discussed recently, the highest for sports station were in August until December 2020, which is 8 million rupiah. By contrast, the lower sales were in the year 2018. There is a remain constant movement. We therefore strongly recommend that a sponsor for any big sports will increase the sales of the company. It is because the product will be known in the public's eyes. And then after all, whatever is used or worn by the public figure and then by the athlete will be a trend or follow. This product will be popular. These people will look at for this product, and then the demand will increase. Then it will indirectly positively affect the increasing annual sales. Okay, so move on to the second graph. We can conclude that protective equipment is the least for overall items stated in the graph. On the other hand, the highest sales for the item sports shoes on the third and fourth quarter, which is 40 million rupiah. In my opinion, the brand partnership is one of two ways to skyrocket the sales of sports items. For example, famous brands such as Nike and Adidas, if this brand partnership happens, the sales movement of sports item will increase sharply. Okay, I think that's all for all my presentation explaining paragraph about the annual sales of sports station from the year 2018 until 2020 and line graph about the sales of sports item in 2021. Thank you so much for those who stay here until the end, and last but not least, thank you Mem Yosi Handayani for teaching us the English first. Uh, I am Silvia Ananda. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good evening.